Hey guys, welcome back for another video. Today I've got a review of the brand new ASMAX F1 Motorcycle comms unit. This, on paper at least, should be pretty full featured at an amazing price. I'll put a link down below. Make sure you check for any clickable coupon boxes as well. So we're gonna unbox it real quick, go through its features. I'm gonna install it on one of my helmets, take it out for a ride. Then I'm gonna measure it for clarity and volume. I'll add everything to the comparison chart on twowheelobsession.com and we'll see how it does. So just reading the box real quick, it does have mesh and Bluetooth comms capability. The mesh is only between like units, not other brands. It does have voice control, so you can answer calls. It supports up to 10 other mesh riders. Frankly, I've never had a group that big on one comms channel. It does have group and an open as well. We have intelligent noise canceling for your microphone. We've got LED lighting. I'm gonna take a look at that. It does support fast charging. Yay, love to see that in all modern devices. Dual Bluetooth, so you can stream your music and connect to other comms and all that good stuff. It's, I believe, waterproof. I need to double check on the website real quick. Usually they put it on a box, but I swear it was on there. Let me check that real quick. Okay, yes, it is IP67 rated. And if you're ever curious, by the way, about what that means, the 2 digits, it's not a number, it's not 67, it's 6-7. The first one, 6, is its rating for dust, and its last digit, 7, is its rating for water. Higher the better on both. 6-7 is pretty typical these days of most devices, and that basically means you can dunk this thing in several feet of water for a half an hour or whatever, and it's not gonna do anything. So more than enough for any kind of rain conditions. That's what's important. Here's the unit itself. Very lightweight, very sturdy, solid plastic. Thought I felt a button. So this here, it's kind of like an X design and it sticks out a little bit. I'm imagining that's the LED. So you push here, nice little tactile click, very easy to hit, but not accidentally. It's got a lot of flex without hitting the button. You press it, and it goes. We got a button on top, bottom, and left. So we got 4 buttons and nothing else on the perimeter. Then in the back, we have a USB-C for charging and a little rubber flap for that. All right, that's a little finicky to get back in there. Make sure you get that really in the groove and then smash it down, and there it goes. It kind of clicks into place. Sometimes they just fall. I actually prefer this because it really wants to stay in there, and that's what I like. This should be a magnetic attachment to the base, which again is awesome. And we do have normal screws here, so if you ever need to get into it for whatever reason, you can take it apart. All right, let's take a look at what else is in the box real quick. Should have the usual accoutrements. Nice accessory box. First out, ooh, a really nice braided USB A to C charging cable. That is super quality. I mean, I have never seen this quality of cord. I know it's dirt cheap, a few pennies to produce, but it is steps above just a generic rubber-like cord. I use these all over the house for my own devices. Just, they're nice. And it's a quite generous length too. That's gonna be at least a 4-footer. What else is in here? We have a big foam block. Wonder why they put that around the bracket here. It's just a holder for inside the bag. All right, interesting. Here is our bracket that actually goes on the bike. And I imagine we're gonna have different mounting options. These are rubber pads here. So we'll probably have some type of clamp and some type of adhesive. And then our breakout cables, nice and long and thin. Love to see this. This is an excellent design. These are about 1 foot long. So now you're able to route this no matter how you want to mount it to your helmet, completely around all your cheek pads and brackets or whatever you want, so that these are going to be inside, tucked up, nice, safe, and dry. So that is the way to do it. This is going to be your speaker, probably FM antenna as well, and then here's your mic connector. That's perfect. Love to see that. All right, what else do we have? We've got a boom mic. Take this rubber band off real quick. Pretty chunky boom mic. Let me open this up so I can show you the actual size of it. And I only mentioned this because sometimes you are really pressed for space. Now granted, most people that are using the boom mic aren't, because they have some type of open helmet. But I just need to note it. This actual mic is, you can see my fingers here, that big. And it's pretty much a cube. Sometimes they're nice and flat, sometimes they're real tiny. This one is chunky. So there's not too much compression here of the foam. Not a big deal. This is probably removable, so you can have two different attachment points to keep it nice and steady. I like that. You don't see this too often. And then these are the Velcro. We'll have some adhesive on the pads, and then your mic connector, which is on the short side. I wish this was a little bit longer, because that means this coming from the base is now the only wire that you have to connect. Usually it's not a big deal, but it does mean that now you have to have the mic on the side of the helmet that you put your comms. So it's usually going to be the left-hand side. But not a big deal for most people, just something to note. A lot of other companies will have a nice, at least foot-long lead on the mic as well. Hasn't been an issue for me, just noting it. Now, what's this? This should be the soft mic, or I should say surface mount mic. Yep. See, this has a nice long lead. This is exactly how the other mic cable should be. So this is no problem. And this is actually nice and small. This is all foam. This compresses way down. It's just a tiny, tiny little nub right in the middle of all that foam. So very nice there. And a soft, flexible Velcro mount there. Perfect for just sticking where you need it on the inside of your closed helmet. And then all these different adhesive soft Velcros. Love to see that. Got a big old manual, it feels like. Yep. Here we go. Should have pretty much the most useful thing in here. I was going to say the app download link. And I like to see that. Sometimes we'll have firmware updates available, but this means super easy to configure and control things. Absolutely critical for a device like this with all kinds of features. And then we should have a list of voice controls. So we've got basic operation, the two side buttons, volume up and down. There's our charging port. It's high max to activate all your voice control commands. And then we're gonna see all the different ones that you can activate through here. And all your commands for connecting to other riders and that kind of stuff. And that's it. And the rest is other languages. So pretty self-explanatory, same as pretty much every other normally featured comms unit out there. Now here we should have different kinds of spacers and the speakers. And ooh, they are heavy. Yeah, oh man, that has some heft to it. That is a nice chunky magnet. And this foam is almost non-existent. It is super thin. It actually feels like a felt, and I can see right through it. I'm looking at the plastic speaker with the dots. There you go. Can you see through that? Very thin foam. I would like to see a little more durable, you know, more like, well, this is a different type of closed cell foam, but the problem with this is it feels like Cardo or Sena that's been used for years. Right? If you know what that's like, this is what this is like. Real thin. So if you have ears or earrings or anything that sticks out, I use earplugs, for example, and there's little, pieces of plastic and rubber in those. And when you're putting your helmet on, you're going to have some abrasion. If you've got these mounted right so that they're right up against your ear, there's going to be a little bit of surface tension as you take your helmet on and off, and that wears the foam pretty quickly. I don't think this foam is going to last all that long. Now maybe the plastic underneath is comfy enough where it doesn't matter, but the back is mostly solid plastic right up until about my thumb here, and the Velcro on the back. And yeah, nice strong magnets. This isn't, that's just magnetic attraction right there. So they have some weight, they have some heft. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they sound and how loud they get. And then we have the simple breakout cable here. Usually on the units with a radio, the longer lead here going to the right side speaker is going to be your FM antenna. So you want to route this as straight and as long as possible around the back of your helmet. Don't like wad it up, into a knot, just to make it as short as possible. Leave yourself some length just for best operation. And these are going to be what go in the helmet with your adhesive and mounting for the speakers. And these are extra spacers if you need to get them closer to your ears. Not much else in here. This should be, yep, this is just the clip for the mount, and it is metal. I like to see that instead of plastic. This should just clip onto the back here somehow. See, this is going to go on the inside of your helmet, and then this is probably going to go right in here and click into place, and then you just hit this little tab here, slide it back down if you want to remove it. Awesome for a temporary mount. And then if you want a permanent, here is the self-adhesive. Same type of deal, just stick this on the side of your helmet and you can still clamp your thing down and release it at any time. So really they give you a way to use this on 2 different helmets. So that's pretty cool there. And then what else is in the bag? Man, there's a lot of stuff in here. Still more. Extra self-adhesive pads if you want to redo it or switch it, or you sell your helmet or whatever. We got some stickers. Haven't seen those in years. And a care bag. Oh, just some cleaning wipes. Okay, cool. So that's what we get. Let's go and throw it on the helmet. All right, got the speakers, the mic, the base here mounted just temporarily, but secure enough on the helmet. Very impressed with the software so far. A couple little things I'm gonna note. One, it's a magnet mount, very nice and easy. However, unlike the Sena and Cardo units that use magnet mounts, this won't 100% of the time fully lock in. The magnet does a great job of aligning it. You just get it close and it'll snap right into place, but sometimes this front, it also has a plastic clip. You have to give it that little extra tap. So just use the magnet to align it and just touch it and it'll snap right into place. This front button, a little less sensitive than the other 3. They all have a nice tactile click, but this front one, and you use this for turning it on and off, you hit these 2 at the same time, it takes a little more effort, and I just have to kind of mash it. It feels like the dome underneath just isn't quite as good as the other 3, but it's not a big deal. It still works fine. So you press these 2 to turn it on, and I love how it announces the battery state, both on power on and power off. So that's very cool. To take it off the mount, you just bend this plastic here a little and slide the whole thing back and it comes right out. Now I was a little worried, just going through the manual here, I'm going to install the app next and then make sure the firmware is updated, but there's a note in here, hey now, that said fast charging is limited to 15 watts, which is like the bare minimum of what you call fast charging. I've got fast charging up to 45 watts. My main station is a 40 watt, so I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but it did. So the warning's in there, take that for what it's worth, but it did charge just completely fine on my 40 watt station. So quick little change of plans here. I actually already recorded going through everything in the app and didn't realize until editing that the screen recording audio got dorked when I connected to the unit in the app. So here we are. I think I knew that before, but I just forgot. Anyway, the app is called ASMAX World. Now I've gone through everything and it's connected, and for the most part it works fine, but there are definite areas in the app that need some work. Some misspelling, some things not aligning right on the screen. The registration is especially, I'll say frustrating, because some of the prompts just don't make sense, but you'll get there. They just need to go through it with native English speakers and get everything ironed out. But once you connect to the unit, then we have, let me go into screen recording here. The main sections on the bottom: device, intercom, and me. Me is just your account and now I'm not sure why they dropped the first letter of my name. That was another bug I noticed there, but just basic stuff from the website. So really nothing in there. Intercom is where you can set up the group mesh easily through the app instead of having to use device buttons and things like that. And then free mode is if you want anybody to be able to connect to you. Going back to device. So if we want to connect to the device, we just turn it on, hold down the outside buttons, LED comes on, and if the speakers were connected, it would announce the battery level. And now we have our settings showing here in the app. So basic information is firmware, which I did update, Took about 10 minutes total, went flawlessly, no problem with that. Online voice is basically what voices you want it to recognize and say, and then you have broadcast. Headset music effects, I can find absolutely nothing about it. It gives this error every time you click it, even when I'm playing music. It gives the error, no music playback, unable to set sound effects. My guess is this is some kind of unused EQ setting, but right now there's nothing in here that you can do with it. Music as background volume, again, this is where the label doesn't make any sense, but this is if you want the music to still play while you're in comms. Notification sound, that's the beep, and for some reason their scales are all 0 to 16, 16 being 100%. So you can do the slider and go up to max, but 16 is what the max is for all the volume sliders in here. And then the phone is the volume of the phone calls. Auto answer if you want it to automatically answer a phone call coming in. I would never want that. Phone voice assist if you want to use voice controls for that. And call join in mesh, or calling join in mesh I should say. That's if you want to record, or I'm sorry, have a phone call come through the comms. So if you want to pipe it into the group. Music is just the music volume, and the rocker switches on your phone also work. Mesh intercom, self-explanatory, the volume of your comms. Personalized LED. So right now there is just like a blue plastic. It's not lit up, right? So we can turn the LED on, and then it glows. Now, what I'm not sure of is if it stays on or what, because it doesn't seem to do much other than pulse. But there's no like static mode that I could see. And then personalized, I've played with the frequency here. I would think frequency is like how fast it pulses, and okay, up at the top here, I just noticed this. It says breathing for the mode. So if we set that to flashing, I didn't notice that before, but so flashing is just a pulse, even all the way up, it's not steady on. And then if we go all the way down on frequency, it seems to be, so it's just a slower pause in between lights. Now that seems to be, oh yeah, that's really slow. It doesn't make any sense. So you can't set it to just on. That was my point. So breathing here is just like a slow fade, and then obviously the flashing is just a pulse. I don't know, doesn't really do much for me. Brightness is self-explanatory, although it's not super bright or dim. There's only 3 selections there. You got left, middle, and right for both frequency and brightness, and the selection of colors there. However, the LEDs only seem to be in the very center, so setting it to red there, you can see where they are, and it doesn't light up the plastic. So the blue is definitely the best color because it ignites that plastic, which is blue, so it actually looks like it's all lit up. But that's the best you're gonna get there. I really don't care. I turn lights off, they mean nothing to me because they're on the side of your helmet and you can't see it. Who cares? Auto shutdown time. It defaulted to, I believe it was 60 minutes. I would never want my comms to automatically shut down. Now they don't specify in this if it's a time after non-use or just in general, but either way, I'm setting mine to never. Knocking function on or off. It says double tap the function key, then tap twice to enter team grouping. There is nothing in the instructions or online about this, so I have no idea what this does, if anything, at the moment at least. And that's it for the app. So let's throw it on the test rig and see what we measure. Okay, decent results here on the test rig. We've got a maximum peak of 100.3 dB, and unfortunately I can't get rid of the distortion. It's always there no matter how you turn it down. I had one other unit like that, and I think that's just they're trying to overdrive the signal for the drivers. It's not bad though. It's just a quick little crunchy sound, and that's it. If you're listening to a ton of bass heavy music, this isn't gonna be for you, but normal music, normal vocals, no problem there. What's interesting is the EQ curve. Now, as I noted in the app, there are no settings to change it. It's pretty flat. There's a dip in the mid-range that's pretty obvious there, and then hardly any rise on the treble. Normally on these comms units, you're gonna see a big treble rise, even on the default flat settings. and we'll have to see how that translates into intelligibility. But 100.3 is definitely good for the peak volume, so we'll see how it translates into clarity for overall volume. All right, so here at normal road speeds, overall sound is good. It is a little bit lower than some others. The EQ curve, I think, could use some work. It's got decent lower and mid-bass, decent mid-range, but then upper mid-range and treble starts to roll off. The vocals are not punching through, and it gives the effect of it being a little muffled. Other devices, even without EQs, sound a lot more natural and a lot brighter. And that can really help when, like me, you're wearing earplugs to make it sound overall more natural, just to overcome the earphone or the earplug effect. I have a feeling once I get up on the highway speeds with some more wind noise, it's not going to quite cut it to easily hear things like navigation prompts. But we'll see. Overall use is just fine. It's very easy to reach back up and tap the volume button or go to the next track, even though I use my control screen here for navigating the tracks. And I do keep it pretty much everything at full volume all the time. And even though it has that little bit of just extreme bass hit extortion, it's not bad. It just sounds like a little bit of a crinkle, and it's nothing on normal tracks. So clarity is good. All right, up here at highway speeds, yeah, it's barely adequate. I can understand the lyrics, but it's right on the cusp. It's better than my old Cena 30K, better than the 20K or 20S, whatever the 20 was. I could still probably make out most navigation prompts. It really depends on how much wind noise your particular bike has. But this is about the bare minimum that I would suggest using if you've got a loud bike. Cool. So overall, I'd say this is a good mid-range option, especially for the price. Definitely check out the link below and make sure you check for any coupon codes that Amazon is going to have for it, because it's in the sweet spot for the feature set it has, with comms, with very nice controls, waterproof. The app definitely needs work, but once you set it up, you're probably never going to use it again, so I'm not really dinging it for that, but it could be better. Anyway, that's it. Hope it helps make a decision. Check out the chart on twowheelobsession.com. I've got all the comparisons between all the units I've done so far, and of course I'm adding to it all the time as more units come in and as I buy more of them to just add to the data. That's it. See you next time.